Hello folks, welcome back. In this Pandas series, today we are going to learn how to handle missing data that are present in a dataset. So, first of all, we are going to learn how to check whether the given element is nan or not. After that, we are going to learn how to fill and drop the missing values that are present in a dataset. I mean, today we are going to learn about the methods like isNa, isNull, notNa, notNull, bfill, ffill, fillNa, and dropNa methods to handle missing data. And also, we are going to have a little bit theory on these methods. Note one thing, for this entire video, we are going to use this data frame to explain the above said methods. So let's have a look on this program. So in this program we imported NumPy and Pandas as NP and PD. Using NumPy we inserted np.nan values in this dictionary called data, and using Pandas data frame method and this dictionary called data we created a data frame and we stored that data frame object in df variable. So now let's learn how to check the elements that are present in the given data frame. But one thing, what we have to check and what type of check do we need on these elements? Answer for this is simple. We are going to perform checking operation on the elements that are present in a data frame, and we are going to check whether the current element is a nan value or not. So how do we check whether the given element is nan element or null element or not a nan and null element? For that we are going to use some predefined methods called isNa, isNull, notNa and notNull. Note point here is the methods isNull is same as isNa, and also method notNull is same as notNa. And also one good news is these four methods won't take any additional parameters. Just these methods are applied on the data frame object and we get the resultant data frame which contains boolean values that indicates the given element is nan or not. First of all, let us know what is a missing value. A missing value in a data set refers to a data point or observation that is absent or undefined for one or more variables or for one or more features. It could occur due to various reasons such as data entry errors, equipment malfunctions, or intentional omission. So checking for missing value is the most important and primary step that we wanted to do when we read a data set. In order to check whether the element is a missing value or not, we have four methods, and those methods were isNa, isNull. These two methods are same. NotNa, notNull, and these two methods are same and used interchangeably. These four methods won't take any parameters. These methods are just used with data frames object. When we use these methods with a data frame object, we will get a boolean data frame as a result which is of the same shape and same size. But the output what we have got is a boolean data frame which contains true and false values. These values indicate whether the entity in that cell is a nan or not. Don't worry, this may be a little bit of confusing. When we have an example on these methods, we will be get clear on all those things. So first of all, let's learn about the methods called isNa or isNull, which is used to check whether the element is nan or not. I mean whether the element is a nan value or not. For that we are going to use isNa or isNull methods with the data frame objects. First thing we need to remember about these methods is these two methods are used interchangeably, meaning using isNa method or isNull method results exactly same output. So these methods are same. Second thing is these methods won't take any parameters. These methods are just used with data frame object. When we use these methods with the data frame object, we will get an output which is a boolean data frame, and that boolean data frame consists true and false values. So true values indicates that corresponding element is a nan. False value indicates that corresponding element is not a missing value, or you can say it is not a nan or null value. So in order to use these methods, we need to follow this syntax. Now let's take an example. We have seen this example earlier, but we did a small modification, and that modification is nothing but applying isNa method on this data frame object called df with this variable. When this variable is printed out, we got the following output. As I said earlier, we got an output which is a boolean data frame that consists true values and false values. In this data frame, true value indicates that corresponding element is a nan value. Conversely, false value indicates that the corresponding element is not a nan or null value. So isNa or isNull methods are used with data frame objects in order to know whether the elements are null values or not. Similarly, you can use isNull also, however, you will get the same result. In this case, notNa and notNull methods are also used to check whether the given element is not a nan value or it may be not a null value. So in before case, we used the isNa isNull methods with a purpose to determine whether the given element is a nan value or not. But notNa or notNull methods are used with a purpose to determine whether the element is not a nan or null value. So remaining things are same, meaning notNa, notNull methods are interchangeable, and these methods are commonly used in data preprocessing step to identify non-missing value before performing analysis and other operations. So same source code, but here we used df.notNa and we printed out this variable. In this output we got true value if and only if the corresponding value is not a nan or missing value. Until now we have seen how to determine whether an element is a nan, null or not. Now we are going to learn how to fill the nan values, that is replacing nan values with some other values. For that we are going to use three methods, namely bfill, ffill and fillNa. Of course these methods are not same as one another, but their purpose is common, meaning that these methods are used to fill the nan values with some other values, and the values may be the value which is present next to the nan value in the dataset, or the value may be the value which is present before the nan value in the dataset, or it may be any user desired value. So using bfill, ffill and fillNa methods, we can fill the nan or null values with the values that are present in succeeding, preceding or with any user defined value. I know these sentences may be a little bit of confusing, but when we have an example, all those things will be cleared. Now it's time to learn about the bfill method. So first of all, bfill stands for backward fill, which is used to fill the missing values with the values. So I am repeating that these methods are used to fill the missing values with the values that is present to the next of the missing value, but that next value should be a valid observation. So let's try to understand what I said with a simple example. Let's consider we have 10 observations like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Here 7, 8, 9 are missing. So let's assume that in 1 to 10, 7, 8, 9 are missing, but 10 is present. So we need to fill these 7, 8, 9 values, right? So we used bfill method. Now this bfill method search for the next valid observation, meaning not a missing value, and that value should be present after the next to these missing values. So here 7, 8, 9th position observations, right? So here 7, 8, 9 position observations are filled with a value called 10. So now we have observations like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here 10, 10, 10, and 10. So here the observation which is present at 7th position, 8th position, and 9th position are filled with a value called 10. So now you may have a little bit understanding about this method. So this method is used with an assumption, and that assumption may be the missing element is same, and it may be reasonably very close and similar to its next valid observation. So here same example but with a modification, and that modification is using bfill method with this data frame object called df. Now let's see its output. In the above output, almost every nan value is filled with its next valid observation, but this one nan value is not filled. Why it is not filled with its next valid observation? Do you have any guess answer? If so, then comment your answer. In fact, I have already said why this nan value is not filled. So ffill stands for forward fill. This method is used to fill the value, but this method is used to fill the missing values, but it works exactly opposite to bfill method. This method fills the value with its preceding valid observation, and this method is used when we have an assumption that missing values may be relatively closer or it may be same with its preceding element. But bfill is used with an assumption that maybe the missing values remain same until its next valid observation. So let's have a look on this example. Same example but used ffill method like this, and for this example the output will look like this one. As you can see, all the values are filled except this nan value. So why did this happen? Any guess? If you know, then express your answer in the form of a comment. Fill now. So until now we have learnt about bfill and ffill methods. These methods are used in most cases, but it fails to fill the nan values when the nan values is at extreme positions which we have seen earlier. In order to overcome these things, we have another method called fill now. This method is highly useful when we wanted to replace all the nan or null values with our own desired value. So this method can be used to fill the nan or null values with mean, median, mode values or any other desired values over any axis. Now let's see an example. So here same example, used fill now method with a data frame object, and we given 90 as an argument to this df dot fill now method as shown here. So now let's have a look on this examples output. Here all the nan and null values are filled. Note one thing, these methods a bfill method, ffill method and fill now method take some parameters, so which will be discussed about that parameters later in this video. Now it's time to learn how to remove the rows or columns that contains the nan values. Sometimes it would be the most useful for analysis if we remove the missing values, duplicates, etc. For that we have plenty of methods available. In that, drop now is most useful to remove the rows or columns that contains nan values. Using this drop now method, we can drop the missing values, nan or null values over any axis. It may be along rows or it may be along columns. So even we can also specify how to drop the values and where to drop the values, and also we can give a condition, or you can say we can say the number of NaN values that should be removed with this method. So here is the same example, but you use a dropna method with the data frame object. So here dropna method is used to remove the rows or columns that contains NaN values. So we can remove the NaN values by specifying axis, and also we can say the limit to drop the NaN values, and also we can specify the subset of rows or columns to remove which contains the NaN values. So here is the output for our example. In this example, all the rows were dropped because each row consists of one NaN value. Now it's time to have a look on some parameters which can be used with the above said methods like bfill, ffill, fillna and dropna methods. So using these parameters, even we can get more optimized and desired result. So here are the methods and parameters. So have a look on these methods and parameters. That's all folks for this video. If you want this PPT and PDF files for reading purpose, then you can check out my description box to access this PPT and PDF files. Thank you. We will meet again with an amazing content.